Hi everyone, Margaret Thompson here from suburban Ohio. Where are you watching from tonight? Picture this. I'm standing in my own living room, the one my late husband Tom and I built with our bare hands over 40 years, heart pounding like a freight train in my chest. The scent of my fresh-baked apple pie still hangs heavy in the air from dinner, mixing with the sharp tang of Jake's aftershave as he lounges on my floral sofa like he owns the place. My daughter Lisa, my only child, the little girl I rocked to sleep in this very house, suddenly jumps up from the armchair, her face twisted in fury, and screams at me, "Mom, don't you dare yell at my husband in his house." His house. The words slam into me like a sucker punch, stealing my breath. I feel my knees buckle slightly, my hands clenching into fists at my sides as I stare at her, mouth open but no sound coming out. This is my home. Every brick laid by Tom's calloused hands, every mortgage payment scraped together from my nursing shifts and his factory overtime. The deeds in my name alone, paid off 5 years ago after he passed. Jake smirks from the couch, crossing his arms over his chest, his eyes cold and triumphant, like he's already won some game I didn't know we were playing. Lisa plants herself between us, chest heaving, pointing a trembling finger at me. "This is Jake's house now, Mom. We're helping you out here. You can't just come in and boss us around." I blink hard, the room spinning a little, my throat tight with a mix of shock and rising nausea. Part of me wants to laugh. It's so absurd, but the hurt cuts deeper like a knife twisting in my gut. How did my sweet Lisa, the girl who used to beg for one more bedtime story, turn into this stranger defending a man who's leeching off my goodwill? They've been here 6 months, ever since their apartment fell through from bad luck. And I've bitten my tongue through the redecorating, the late-night parties, the missing cash from my cookie jar. But this? Claiming my sanctuary as his? My face burns, tears pricking my eyes, but I swallow them down. What would you do right then, hearing your own flesh and blood rewrite your life's work? I grab my purse from the side table, my keys jingling like an alarm in the sudden silence. "Fine," I manage, my voice steadier than I feel. "You too enjoy his house." I storm out the front door, the screen slamming behind me, the cool evening air hitting my flushed cheeks like a slap. My old Chevy coughs to life in the driveway, and I peel out, driving aimlessly for 2 hours, replaying her words over and over. His house. By the time I circle back, my shock has hardened into something sharper, resolve. I stop at the 24-hour hardware store first. The locksmith meets me there within the hour. Burly guy named Hank with grease-stained hands and no questions asked. We change every lock on that place, front, back, garage, while they sleep inside oblivious. Half an hour after the last click, my phone lights up. Lisa's banging on the new deadbolt, sobbing through the door. "Mom! Mom, please! Let me in. It's freezing out here." Jake's yelling in the background, his voice muffled but furious. "This is insane. We're calling the cops. And a divorce lawyer." I stand on the porch in the dark, arms crossed, watching her silhouette through the peephole, her makeup streaked, bags already piling up on the lawn. For the first time in months, I feel the ground solid beneath my feet again. But to understand what led to this nightmare, and how I made sure they paid for every lie, let me back up and tell you how this all started. I breathe in slowly, trying to steady myself as I go back to the beginning. Back to when life still felt peaceful, even in its loneliness. After Tom passed, the house became too quiet. I fill my mornings with gardening, rearranging the same drawers, baking pies I end up giving to neighbors because there's no one else to eat them. I miss the sound of his laugh echoing in the kitchen, the way he'd hum while fixing something that didn't really need fixing. At first, the solitude feels like a blanket, heavy but familiar. But then the nights get longer, and I find myself talking to framed photos like they're listening. 2 years after his passing, I'm finally starting to feel grounded again when Lisa calls one afternoon, voice shaking. "Mom, we need somewhere to stay. Just for a little while. Maybe a couple weeks." I don't hesitate. She's my daughter, my only one. "Of course, sweetheart. Come home. The guest room's already made." If I had known then what I know now. But back then my heart leaps at the idea of life filling these empty rooms again. When they first arrive, Lisa hugs me like she means it. Jake follows behind her, dragging suitcases across my hardwood floors without lifting them. Little disrespectful things like that, subtle but telling. Still, I remind myself to be gracious. People under stress act strangely, right? They settle in and the house warms up again. Music in the evenings, shoes by the door, Lisa's perfume lingering in the hallway. I convince myself it's comforting instead of chaotic. But the first red flag comes within days. Jake stands in the kitchen one morning looking around like an inspector. "These cabinets are outdated," he mutters. "We should do something about that." "We?" I ask, stirring my tea. He shrugs. "If we're staying here, it needs upgrades. Modern living." Lisa adds, "Mom, don't get defensive. Jake's just trying to help." Help. Right. Within a week, boxes arrive. New bar stools, new rug, even a giant abstract painting that doesn't match any corner of my home. When I confront Lisa about the deliveries, she sighs dramatically. "Mom, it's our space now, okay? It has to feel like home to us too." The word "our" hangs in the air like smoke. I let it slide. Because mothers do that, we swallow discomfort to keep harmony. But then mail starts showing up, addressed to Mr. and Mrs. Jake Harper, homeowners. I stand at the mailbox for a whole minute, confused, checking the address. It's mine, of course. I bring the envelopes inside, holding them out to Jake. "These came today, but they're not correct." He snatches them, barely looking at me. "Relax, Margaret. Must be a system error." But over the next week, more mail arrives. Credit offers, bank statements, a furniture catalog addressed to the Harper residence. Even a notice for package pickup marked primary occupant, Jacob Harper. One afternoon, I catch Lisa shoving a handful of envelopes into her tote bag. She jumps when she sees me watching. "Mom, don't start. It's just mail. Why are you hiding it?" She rolls her eyes like a teenager. "Because you make everything a big deal. It's not that serious." But it is serious. I feel it in my bones. They begin hosting friends on weekends, loud, laughing people who spill wine on my carpets and stomp through the house like it's a rental they don't need to respect. When I gently mention the noise, Jake answers for both of them. "This is our home too, Margaret. Calm down." The way he says my name, flat, dismissive, makes my stomach twist. A week later, I overhear them whispering in the laundry room late at night. The dryer hums, but not loud enough to drown out their voices. "I'm telling you, she won't last much longer alone," Jake says. "She's slipping." "I know," Lisa whispers back. "But we need a plan. If she's going to help us, she has to want to." "Help them?" I stand completely still in the hallway, heart thudding. Jake lowers his voice. "Her equity could wipe everything clean. One signature. One. And she'd never have to know what it was for." Lisa hesitates. "She won't agree to that. Not unless." "Then make her. You're her daughter. Use that." The words hit me like a cold wave. I back away quietly, my palms sweating, my throat clenched. I don't sleep that night. I watch the ceiling fan spin, replaying their whispers until dawn. The next morning, Lisa breezes into the kitchen, cheerful and syrupy. "Mom, Jake and I were talking. Maybe it's time to combine finances. It would make things easier for all of us." "Easier for who?" I ask. She bites her lip. "For the family. Mom, come on. It's not like you need all that money just sitting around." I set my tea down carefully. "Lisa, I know what you two are planning." She freezes. "What? What are you talking about?" "I heard you. Last night. In the laundry room." Her face drains of color, then hardens into something cold. "You were spying on us?" "This is my house," I say quietly. "I don't have to spy." But instead of shame or fear, she looks annoyed. "Mom, you're being paranoid. Jake and I are trying to help you. You're getting older. Things happen. We need to think ahead." Older. The word stings more than it should. Jake comes in halfway through this conversation, shirt wrinkled, hair messy. "Everything okay in here?" Lisa turns to him. She thinks we're trying to steal from her. He raises his eyebrows. "Well, are we?" He jokes, laughing under his breath. But it doesn't sound like a joke. Days pass. I start paying closer attention. Watching them, noticing things I'd ignored for months. Jake spends hours in the office on the phone with creditors. I overhear arguments about overdue payments. Lisa cries in the shower late at night, thinking I can't hear her. The stress in the air thickens. One afternoon, Dorothy knocks on my door with a plastic container of lemon bars. She's my neighbor of 30 years, tough as nails and sweet as honey. She steps inside and lowers her voice immediately. Margaret, I saw a man snooping around your mailbox yesterday. I thought it was odd. My stomach flips. Jake. She nods. And he was arguing with someone on the phone. Mentioned refinancing. Refinancing. That word rings like an alarm bell. That night, while Lisa and Jake are out running errands, I sit at the kitchen table with my reading glasses and a flashlight. I open the bottom drawer of the desk where Jake has been storing stacks of paperwork. I shouldn't look through their things. I know that. But I do. Bank statements. Loan rejections. Notices. A folder labeled Consolidation Plan A in Jake's handwriting. And then a form with my name typed neatly on the signature line. A power of attorney document. An unsigned one but already filled out. The pit in my stomach drops. I snap photos of every page with trembling hands. My heart hammers so loudly I'm afraid the neighbors will hear it. When I close the drawer, I'm shaking. They come home minutes later, laughing about something, oblivious to the storm about to break. But I don't confront them, not yet. I need certainty. Proof. Over the next week, I start collecting it quietly. I check my bank accounts privately, something I haven't done since Tom handled those things. I notice a strange login attempt from a device I don't recognize. I ask Dorothy to keep an eye out for anything unusual. And she does. One evening she knocks again, this time her face serious. Margaret, I heard them in the backyard talking about forcing you out if you don't cooperate. I recorded it. I thought you might need it. The recording chills me to my core. Lisa's voice, my daughter's voice, saying, she's old. She won't fight it. She loves me too much to say no. I listen twice. 3 times. Then I sit in the dark for an hour, staring at my trembling hands. That's the night the switch flips inside me. I stop being the soft, accommodating mom they expect. I start being the woman Tom married, the one who paid bills on time, who fought for every inch of this home, who doesn't let anyone bully her into a corner. But the next day, everything escalated. I wake up the next morning with a knot in my stomach, the kind that tells you the ground beneath your life is shifting. The house feels different, too quiet, too still, like it's holding its breath. I walk down the hallway slowly, listening. No footsteps. No murmuring voices behind closed doors. No clatter of Jake digging through my refrigerator again. Just silence. I make coffee and sit at the kitchen table, watching the cream swirl in my cup like a storm brewing. Last night's discovery hangs in the air like fog. The forged documents. The whispered conversations. The recording Dorothy gave me. My own daughter plotting with her husband against me. I'm still staring at my coffee when Jake walks in. He smells like cologne and stale beer. He glances at me briefly, then opens the fridge. Morning, he mutters. I nod. Morning. He doesn't notice the way I'm watching him. Or maybe he does because he closes the fridge slowly and turns around, leaning against the door. You look tired, Margaret. I didn't sleep well. He crosses his arms, eyeing me with a cautious smirk. Anything on your mind? He's fishing. Trying to see if I know. I shake my head. Just thinking about errands. He hums, unconvinced, then pours himself orange juice directly into his mouth from the carton. It dribbles down his chin, and he wipes it with the back of his hand. Lisa and I have plans today. Don't wait up. He leaves the glass dribbling on the counter, orange puddles spreading. Normally I'd sigh and wipe it, but not today. Today I just watch it seep toward the edge and drip onto the floor. It feels symbolic somehow, something overflowing, unchecked, about to make a mess. As soon as their car pulls out of the driveway, I stand up with purpose. I open the hall closet and pull out Tom's old lockbox. The combination is still the same, our anniversary. Inside, neatly stacked, are every important document we ever had. Deeds, insurance, pension papers. I flip through them carefully, checking for signs of tampering. Everything is still there. Thank God. Next I go into the office. Jake's laptop is open on the desk, screen still glowing. He never logs out of anything. His arrogance is a gift at this point. My hands tremble as I approach it. Margaret, I whisper to myself, don't panic. Just look. I slide into the chair and glance around, half expecting someone to burst in, but the house stays quiet. When I touch the trackpad, the desktop wakes up instantly, no password. I click the email icon. At first it's ordinary junk. Then I see a folder labeled Priority Clients. But Jake doesn't have clients. When I open it, my stomach drops. Screenshots of bank statements, loan applications, scans of documents with Lisa's handwriting, my handwriting forged, Jake's signature sloppily imitating mine. Conversations with someone named RD Financial Solutions, discussing equity leverage, elderly resistance, probable acquiescence after pressure. Elderly resistance. I blinked, the words blurring. I feel heat rising in my chest, a flush of anger, humiliation, disbelief. Then I click on an email chain titled House Refi Plan. It's long. I scroll. Once she signs POA, we submit immediately. Use urgency. Push the aging health risk angle. If she hesitates, proceed with emotional leverage via daughter. Goal. Full control within 60 days. My throat tightens. My hands prickle. That's when I see the PDF attachment. Final signed scan. Signed? Click it open. And what I see almost makes me fall out of the chair. My signature. My signature, crooked, shaky, nothing like mine, but similar enough for someone unfamiliar to think it is. My whole body goes cold. I scroll further and find Jake's signature, neat and smug. Lisa's witness mark beside it. A forged power of attorney document. Fully filled out. Ready. A wave of heat flashes through me. Anger so hot it makes my vision pulse. I grab my phone and take picture after picture. Every screen. Every tab. Every email. Then I plug in a portable drive and copy the whole folder. It takes 10 minutes. 10 long, breathless minutes. When the last file transfers, I eject the drive and tuck it into the waistband of my pants, hidden under my shirt. My heart is still racing when I move on to the desk drawers. I open them one by one, taking photos of every document, every note scribbled on sticky pads. Plans, numbers, reminders like, call title office, push timeline, check mom's bank app while helping with phone, get Lisa to talk health concerns, meeting with notary Monday, prep Margaret, like I'm an obstacle, puzzle to manipulate, a burden. I dig further and find a small black notebook filled with Jake's messy handwriting, a list of his debts, tens of thousands of dollars in overdue accounts, gambling sites, loan sharks, creditors marked urgent. A scribbled line at the bottom. House equals solution. I photograph everything. My hands shake, but I keep going. I feel like I'm floating outside myself, moving on instinct, fueled by adrenaline and betrayal. The room spins slightly, but I stay focused. When I finish, I close everything exactly as I found it. Because now I know something. They believe I'm clueless. And that is my advantage. I leave the office and step outside for air. The sky is gray, heavy. A storm is coming. Dorothy sees me from her front porch and waves me over. The second I reach her walkway, she reads my expression. Oh honey, what happened? I tell her everything. Not all at once. Bits and pieces tumble out between shaky breaths. The documents. The emails. The signatures. Her face shifts from concern to disbelief to anger sharper than my own. Margaret, she says, gripping my arm. This is a crime. They're trying to rob you blind. I know. She looks around, lowers her voice. There's more you should know. I didn't tell you earlier because I wasn't sure. But I've been hearing things through our shared fence for weeks. What kind of things? She hesitates. Arguments. Not between them, about you. Plans. Strategy. Jake telling Lisa she needs to get you in line before the refinancing goes through. I didn't want to meddle. You did the right thing. She nods slowly, then disappears inside and returns with a USB stick. I made recordings. I didn't know if they'd ever matter, but now. My eyes widen. Dorothy. I know I shouldn't be snooping. But I couldn't stand by while they whispered about you like that. I take the USB with both hands, feeling the weight of it, heavier than plastic should feel. Thank you, I whisper. I'll never forget this. You're not alone, she says gently. Not anymore. Back home, I hide the USB deep in my closet, behind a stack of winter blankets. Then I retrieve my phone and check the photos. All clear. All saved. Now comes the hard part. Laying low. I act normal for the rest of the day. When they come home, I'm in the kitchen peeling potatoes, humming softly. Jake walks past me and sniffs suspiciously, but Lisa distracts him. too preoccupied with her dead phone to pay attention. "Mom, can I borrow your charger again?" she asks, not looking up. "No," I say without explanation. She blinks. "Why not?" "Because I said no." The tone surprises both of us. She stares at me like she's seeing me for the first time. But she doesn't argue. Not yet. That night, I lie in bed staring at the ceiling again. But this time I'm not helpless. I have proof. I have allies. I have a plan. The next morning, I drive straight to Mr. Ellis's office, my lawyer for decades, old friend of Tom's. He greets me warmly, but the second he notices my trembling hands, his expression sobers. "What's going on, Margaret?" I close his door, sit down, and tell him everything. He listens without interrupting, his jaw tightening the further I get. When I show him the forged documents on my phone, he clenches his fists. "This is serious fraud," he says. "They could go to prison for this." I swallow hard. Prison. The word hits me like a blow. I don't want that. I just want my home back. My life back. "And you'll get it," he assures me. "But we need to move strategically." He outlines the steps. Keep gathering evidence. Do not confront them yet. Do not sign anything no matter what they say. Do not leave the house for long periods. Document every interaction. And most importantly, change the locks before they do. I freeze. Before they do? He nods grimly. People who plan this kind of fraud often move quickly once they have forged paperwork. They could try to lock you out before you even realize. My heart races. They would really do that? They're already doing worse. He's right. He draws up immediate actions. Filing to invalidate any forged POA attempts, notifying financial institutions, placing alerts on my accounts. He prepares a protective filing that blocks any property-related activity without my explicit, in-person signature verified by the court. By the time I leave his office, I feel dizzy. Empowered but dizzy. That afternoon, I install a security camera in the living room, small, discreet, hidden behind Tom's old ship in a bottle. Another one over the front door. I place my important papers back in the lockbox and hide the key somewhere new. Lisa walks in while I'm on a chair adjusting a frame. "What are you doing?" "Just redecorating," I say with a smile. She squints, suspicious, but says nothing. Later that evening, I hear them whispering in their bedroom. "Did she see anything?" Jake hisses. "She's acting weird," Lisa whispers back. "But I don't think she knows." Good, because I'm not waiting anymore. We do it tomorrow. Tomorrow. My blood turns to ice. I step away from their door quietly, pulse racing. Tomorrow. They're planning something big. Something final. That night I barely sleep. I lie awake gripping my phone, watching the shadows move across the ceiling. At sunrise I get out of bed, grab my keys, and call the locksmith. He arrives in 30 minutes. A burly man named Hank, the same one from the cold open. I show him the doors, explain only what's necessary. He doesn't ask questions. His hands move fast. Every click of a new lock feels like a heartbeat returning to my chest. Midway through replacing the back door lock, I hear tires screech in the driveway. Lisa's voice pierces the air. "Mom! Mom, what is this? What's going on?" The panic in her voice should hurt. But it doesn't. Not anymore. Jake storms toward the porch, face red, fists clenched. "You can't do this. This is our house, you hear me? Our house." I step outside calmly, hands steady. "No," I say. "It isn't." Lisa looks betrayed. Broken. But only because her plan is collapsing. Jake looks furious enough to combust. And for the first time in months I feel strong. Unshakable. Because now I hold all the cards. Every file. Every recording. Every plan they whispered in the dark. And I'm done being quiet. But they have no idea yet. No idea what's coming. No idea how thoroughly I'm about to dismantle their scheme. As they scream on the porch, faces twisted with rage and panic, I look at them with a calmness they don't understand. Because this is only the beginning. And what comes next will change everything. I don't flinch when Jake shouts. I don't even blink. The morning air is cold, and I stand in it like stone, watching him shake with fury on my porch. The locksmith doesn't stop working. He glances over at me, eyebrows raised slightly, silently asking if he should continue. I nod once. Jake explodes. Are you kidding me, Margaret? You think you can just lock us out? You're out of your mind. Lisa grabs his arm. Jake, calm down. No. I'm done pretending. This is insane. She's losing it and we're letting her drag us down with her. Jake, I say softly, please lower your voice. The neighbors can hear you. He laughs loud, sharp, ugly. Good. Let them hear. Let them see what we're dealing with. Lisa tries again to pull him back, whispering urgently. Jake, stop, this is making it worse. Oh, now you're worried about making it worse? I ask, tilting my head slightly. Interesting. Jake turns his rage on me. What's that supposed to mean? It means, I say, stepping forward just enough that he actually takes half a step back. You should think before you speak. You should think before you do anything. He scoffs, but I see it, the flicker of unease. I know everything. And he feels it. Lisa wraps her arms around herself like she's cold. Mom, can we just talk? Please. Inside. Away from the locksmith, away from all this. No, I say calmly. Her mouth hangs open slightly. What? No, I repeat. We can talk later. When I'm ready. And on my terms. Your terms. Jake barks out a bitter laugh. You think you control anything here? You're sick. You're confused. That's why we've been trying to help you. Help me. My voice is quiet, but the edge in it slices through his sentence. Is that what you call it? Lisa's eyes dart to the neighbor's windows. Curtains move. Dorothy's porch light flicks on even though it's broad daylight. She's watching. I take comfort in that. I'll clean up outside. The locksmith mutters diplomatically, carrying his tools around the corner of the house to finish the back lock. Smart man. Jake steps closer, invading my space. I smell the cheap cologne he always wears mixed with stale sweat. You need to unlock those doors. Right now. I'm not playing games. I'm not playing either. Lisa's voice breaks slightly. Mom, please. You're scaring me. Am I? I ask quietly. Or are you scared because your plan is falling apart? Jake stiffens. Lisa's face drains of color. What plan? I look between them slowly. Don't insult me, I whisper. The wind shifts, blowing leaves against the porch steps. Something in the air changes, like a storm drawing closer. Jake tries to regain control. Okay, you know what? I'm done talking on the porch like this. We're going inside right now. He reaches for the doorknob. It doesn't turn. His face contorts. He rattles the knob harder, then pounds on the door. Open this door, Margaret. No. I live here, he screams. No, I say softly, you don't. Lisa looks like she's about to cry. Mom, please don't do this. We can fix this. Whatever happened, whatever you think you saw. I saw enough. Jake kicks the bottom of the door. Open it or I swear to God. That's enough. The voice comes from behind us. Dorothy walks across the lawn, chin raised, robe tied tight, slippers crunching in the gravel. Her presence is small but commanding. You need to stop yelling, she says firmly, looking right at Jake. The entire street can hear you carrying on like a lunatic. This is none of your business, old lady. Dorothy hits him with the kind of stare that could shrivel a full-grown tree. Everything that happens on my street is my business. Jake throws his hands up. This neighborhood is insane. Go cool off, Dorothy says, before you do something stupid. He turns his glare back to me. Unlock the door. Last warning. No. He storms down the steps, pacing like a caged animal. Lisa keeps trying to calm him, but he shakes her off. When the locksmith returns to the porch, wiping his hands on his tool belt, he nods at me. All done. Jake whips around. You're not done. You're not done until those locks are back the way they were. The locksmith straightens, stance widening. Ma'am hired me. That's the end of it. She's not in her right mind. Jake shouts. She's mentally unstable. You can't take orders from someone like that. The locksmith shrugs. She's paying. She's the homeowner. Jake's face goes red, deep furious red. This is my house too. It isn't, I say gently. Legally, it never has been. He spits a laugh. You think a piece of paper is gonna stop me? Funny he should mention paperwork. My heart pounds, but my voice stays steady. Yes, I think it will. Lisa's voice trembles. Mom, please just talk to us. We can explain. Explain what? I ask. Which parts were you planning on explaining? The forged signatures? The emails? The refinancing plans? The notebook full of debts? Or maybe the recordings? Jake freezes. Lisa goes completely still. Recordings? Dorothy crosses her arms, chin lifting. Yes, dear. Recordings. Lisa's lips part, but no words come out. The silence between us crackles like electricity. Jake explodes. What did you do? I protected myself, I say. No, he snaps. You hid in the shadows and spied on us. I laugh softly. The irony is astounding. Jake lunges like he's going to grab the USB from my pocket, even though it isn't there. But the locksmith steps between us in an instant. Back up, he warns. Jake hesitates, but only barely. Dorothy raises her phone. I've been recording this whole incident. In case the police need context. Jake freezes again. Are you people insane? Lisa's voice is small, strangled. Mom, what are you going to do? I'm going to follow my lawyer's instructions. Lisa blinks. Lawyer? Yes, I say. Lawyer. Jake's expression cracks. You went to a lawyer? Of course I did. He looks at Lisa like this revelation is a betrayal. You said she didn't know anything. You said she was clueless. Lisa's voice is barely a whisper. I thought she was. I didn't think she. Stop, I say sharply. Don't pretend this wasn't intentional. You knew exactly what you were doing. Lisa's eyes fill with tears. Mom, I didn't. Jake said we needed the money and I thought. You thought I wouldn't find out? A tear rolls down her cheek. I thought you'd understand. The sheer audacity of that stuns me. Understand what? That you tried to steal my home? Steal my life. Jake steps in front of her protectively. She didn't steal anything. That was my idea. Lisa glares at him. Jake. What? You want her to think it was all you? I'm not taking the fall for this alone. The fall. Interesting choice of words. I hold his gaze. So you admit it. He stumbles. I didn't say that. You did, Dorothy says. Very clearly. He turns to her. Shut up. She raises her phone higher. No. His chest heaves. He looks trapped. Like a man realizing the walls he built are collapsing around him. I take a breath. This is what's going to happen, I say. You're leaving. Both of you. Right now. Lisa's head snaps up. Mom. Not forever, I say. But for now. Until this is sorted out legally. Jake barks a bitter laugh. You can't force us. I can, I say. And I have. The house is protected. The banks are notified. The courts have been alerted. You can't touch a single document, a single account, a single key without committing a felony. His mouth opens then closes. I continue. If you try to enter without permission, it's trespassing. If you try to force your way in, it's breaking and entering. If you try to pressure me into signing anything, it's coercion. And I have documentation of all your attempts. Lisa wipes her face with trembling hands. Mom, please, we don't have anywhere to go. I look at her, really look at her. And it breaks something inside me. But I stay firm. You made choices, I say softly. Choices that have consequences. Jake grabs Lisa's arm. Come on. We're done here. She resists for a moment, her eyes searching mine, desperate. Mom. Do you really hate me that much? The question slices through my chest. I don't hate you. But I won't let you hurt me. Jake pulls her again. This time she follows. They walk down the driveway, arguing quietly but harshly. Their car door slams. The engine starts. As they speed away, Lisa turns to look at me through the back window. Her face pressed to the glass, small and scared. My knees almost buckle. Dorothy places a warm hand on my back. You did the right thing, she whispers. I nod but my throat closes. The locksmith finishes packing his tools. You want me to stay a minute? Make sure they don't come back. No, I say quietly. Thank you. You've done enough. He nods, tips his hat and leaves. The street grows quiet again. Too quiet. I step inside my newly locked home and lean against the door, breathing hard. For the first time in months, I am alone. For the first time in months, I am safe. But safety feels strange. Heavy. Fragile. Doesn't feel like victory. It feels like standing on a cliff, watching the storm gather below, knowing the hardest part is still ahead. Because this isn't over. Not by a long shot. And the next move will determine everything. The house is silent when I wake up the next morning. Silent in a way that feels unnatural. Yesterday's chaos lingers in the air like smoke after a fire. Every room feels hollow, as if sound itself is afraid to echo here. I sit at the kitchen table with a mug of tea I don't drink. I stare at the window. The world outside looks the same, but something fundamental in my life has snapped, shifted, rearranged itself in a way I can't undo. I should feel triumphant. Instead, I feel sick. My phone vibrates suddenly, jolting me. Unknown number. For a moment I consider ignoring it, but something tells me to answer. Hello. There's a slight pause, then a cold, clipped voice. A woman. Mrs. Margaret Harper? Yes. This is Detective Laura Chambers with the County Police Department. I'm calling regarding a report that was filed this morning. My stomach tightens. A report? About what? Your son-in-law, Jake Arnold, contacted us and stated that he believes you may be a danger to yourself and others. My heart stops. The room tilts slightly. A danger? That's not true. That is absolutely not true. I'm not saying it is, the detective replies, calm and professional. But we're obligated to follow up on all reports of potential welfare concerns. Welfare concerns. I grip the table to keep my hands from shaking. Detective, I assure you I'm fine. More than fine. He's manipulating. She interrupts gently. Mrs. Harper, I understand this may be upsetting. I just need to ask a few questions to confirm your safety. Is that all right? I force myself to breathe. Yes. She asks basic things: if I've been eating, sleeping, if I've experienced disorientation, if I feel unsafe in my home. The questions are clearly meant to gauge mental stability. And I answer each one calmly, clearly, without hesitation. Finally, she says, I appreciate your cooperation. Everything sounds normal. But I'd like to speak with you in person later today, just to close this out formally. My jaw clenches. Detective. I think he's trying to retaliate because I changed the locks. I have evidence. I understand, she says. You can bring any documentation you have when we meet. I'm not making any judgment right now. Her voice is careful, neutral. She's heard thousands of stories. She doesn't know who's telling the truth yet. But the fact that I'm on her radar at all, that Jake weaponized the system within 12 hours, makes my skin crawl. After we hang up, I sit there for a long time, staring at the phone in disbelief. He's faster than I thought. And more desperate. The front doorbell rings suddenly. I flinch so hard my mug nearly spills. I step quietly to the window and peek outside. Lisa. She's alone. She's standing on the porch with a jacket pulled tight, hair messy, eyes hollow. She knocks again, softly this time. The kind of knock that sounds like apology. Mom. She calls. It's me. Please open the door. I don't move. Mom. I just want to talk. Just me. Jake isn't here. I still don't move. Please, she whispers. Just let me in. Her voice breaks. I slowly unlock the door and open it just enough to see her face fully. She looks exhausted. Afraid. Smaller somehow. Mom. She breathes out, relief flooding her expression. Thank God. I thought you wouldn't. What do you want? I ask, keeping my voice steady. Her face falls. I want to explain. I don't know, fix things. Lisa, I say quietly. Some things can't be fixed. She swallows hard. Can I come in? I hesitate. She waits, shoulders trembling. Finally, I open the door and step aside. She walks in slowly, as though entering holy ground. Her eyes scan the living room with a kind of longing that punches straight through me. I grew up in this house, she says softly. I know every corner, every smell. Then you should have protected it. I say before I can stop myself. She winces. We sit across from each other at the kitchen table. I keep my posture tall, guarded. She fidgets with her sleeves like she's trying to unravel all her guilt one thread at a time. Jake told me what he did, she says finally. Or what he tried to do. He said you twisted everything, but I know him. I know when he's lying. Do you? I ask. She closes her eyes. I didn't want to believe it. But the forged papers, his emails, your lawyer calling his bluff. It's all too real. Silence stretches. She looks up, eyes shining. Mom, I swear I didn't know he forged anything. I didn't sign anything. I didn't help him do that. That doesn't absolve you, I say, voice steady. You were part of the pressure. Part of the plan. She breaks. Tears fall onto her hands. I know. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was stupid. I let him scare me. I let him convince me it was harmless. A temporary solution. That you'd agree if we approached it right. He lied. She nods, wiping her face with shaking fingers. He lies all the time. I didn't see it. Or I didn't want to. I look at her, really look at her. My daughter. My only child. A woman grown. Yet still that frightened little girl who used to crawl into my bed during thunderstorms. I want to reach for her. I don't. She takes a shaky breath. Last night he got angry when I questioned him. He yelled at me. Threw things. Blamed me for ruining his plan. My heart tightens. Did he hurt you? She shakes her head quickly. No. He didn't touch me. But he looked like he wanted to. I inhale slowly. Lisa. I left, she says. I slept in my car until morning. I couldn't stay with him. I sit back processing that. She wipes her tears. Mom, I'm not asking you to forgive me. I don't want to lose you. I don't want this to be the end. It might be, I say honestly. She flinches. But, I add softly, it doesn't have to be permanent. Her eyes widen with fragile hope. I need time, I say. Time to heal. Time to understand how we got here. Time to decide if you can be trusted again. I'll prove it, she whispers. Whatever you need, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. Before I can respond, her phone vibrates violently on the table. She glances at the screen. Jake. Over and over his name flashes as he calls again. Her face pales. She silences it, hands trembling so hard she nearly drops the phone. He's in meltdown, she whispers. He knows you locked him out. He knows you're talking to police. He's terrified. He should be. She nods slowly. He said if you try to ruin his life, he'll ruin yours. I feel ice crawl up my spine. What does that mean? I don't know, she says quietly. But I think he's going to try something. Something extreme. I stand. She stands too. Mom. Get your things, I say. You're not staying here. He'll come looking for you. Where will I go? Somewhere safe, I say. Her eyes widen. You mean with you? No, I say softly. Not yet. I'm sorry. I can't do that right now. She swallows the disappointment with visible effort. Then where? Dorothy's, I say. She offered yesterday. And she has no love for Jake. He won't step foot on her property. Lisa nods weakly. I walk her to the door. Before she steps outside, she turns to me. Mom, thank you. For what? For not giving up on me. I don't answer. She walks down the porch, shoulders slumped, heading toward Dorothy's house. Dorothy opens the door before she even knocks, pulling her inside gently. I watch them through the window. Two women, one I love and one who saved me. Then I lock the door again. And breathe. Only then do I realize my hands are trembling. Not from fear. From the realization that something fundamental has shifted. Lisa left him. Lisa chose truth over him. That wasn't part of his plan. And when a man like Jake loses control, that's when he becomes the most dangerous. I step back from the window, my heartbeat steadying into something cold, resolute. The storm is no longer coming. It's already here. And from this moment on, I'm not just defending myself. I'm preparing for whatever Jake does next. Whatever war he's about to start. Because the turning point has arrived. And there is no going back. The house feels too quiet after Lisa leaves. Too still. I lock every door and check every window even though I know it won't stop him if he's truly determined. Nothing stops a man like Jake once he decides the world owes him something. The air is heavy. Charged. Like the house is holding its breath with me. I move through the living room slowly, trying to think 3 steps ahead, but my mind is a storm. Flashes of what he could do, what he could try, who he could hurt to get what he wants. He's spiraling. And spiraling men reach for destruction the way drowning men reach for air. My phone buzzes. A text from Dorothy. She's safe. I'm with her. Lock your doors. Another one follows immediately. He's not going to take this quietly. I know. I sit on the couch, my hands clasped together so tightly my knuckles ache. For a moment I let myself breathe steady and deep, the way my therapist taught me years ago. But calm is fragile. It lasts seconds before something outside shatters it. The crunch of gravel. I freeze. A car. Slow. Too slow. I stand and step toward the window, heart pounding against my sternum. A dark SUV rolls to a stop at the end of my driveway. My pulse stutters. It's not Jake's car. But it's familiar. The door opens and Detective Chambers steps out, dressed in plain clothes but carrying the unmistakable presence of authority. Relief and dread collide violently in my chest. I unlock the door before she reaches it. "Mrs. Harper," she says, offering a small, measured nod. "I was in the area and thought we could speak sooner rather than later." I step aside. "Please, come in." She walks inside with the kind of calm that suggests she's seen every possible version of human crisis and survived them all. She looks around quietly, like she's assessing the energy of the house. "Is everything all right?" she asks gently. "No," I admit. "But I'm trying." She nods once. "You said you had documentation for me. Emails, papers?" "Yes." I retrieve the folder from the drawer where I hid it. I hand it to her and she flips through the pages slowly, eyes narrowing with each forged signature, each date, each detail. "This is substantial," she murmurs. "Enough to justify an investigation." My breath releases in a shaky rush, but she lifts a hand. "But," she says softly, "that also means if your son-in-law realizes he's losing control of the situation, he may escalate." "I know," I say. "You understand how dangerous that could be." "Yes." She studies me for a long moment, her expression unreadable. "Mrs. Harper, is there anything you haven't told me? Anything about his behavior? Any threats made directly to you?" "He said he'd ruin my life," I say. "Or he said it to Lisa. About me." "And how did you interpret that?" "As a promise." She nods slowly. "I believe you." Something inside me loosens at that. The first threat of safety I've felt in days. "But," she continues, "believing you and proving it are two different things. We need time to gather evidence, file paperwork, interview witnesses." A loud thud cuts her off. Outside, near the side of the house. We both freeze. Another thud. Heavier this time. Detective Chambers sets the folder down quietly and reaches instinctively to her hip where her service weapon would normally be. But she's off duty, unarmed. Her voice drops to a whisper. "Do you have a back exit?" I nod. "Good. If something happens, you use it. Do you understand me?" Before I can answer, movement flashes past the window. A shadow. Tall. Fast. My stomach drops straight through the floor. Detective Chambers moves toward the door with slow, precise steps, positioning herself just enough to see without being seen. Her breath tightens. "Stay behind me." Another impact, this time on the back door. He's circling the house, looking for a way in. I swallow hard. It's him. She doesn't deny it. She peers through the side window again and mutters under her breath. "He shouldn't be here. He knows there's an open police report. This is reckless." "No," I whisper. "This is calculated." Suddenly, a voice echoes from outside, muffled but unmistakable. "Margaret." Detective Chambers straightens. The voice grows sharper. "Open the door." I cover my mouth to stifle the gasp threatening to escape. He sounds unhinged. Not screaming. Not calm. Somewhere in between, too controlled, too forced. Detective Chambers steps back from the window, assessing, calculating. "We need to call emergency services." I nod frantically. "Use mine." I hand her my phone and she dials quickly, giving clipped, professional information. Off-duty cop, possible home intrusion, active threat, requesting immediate backup. While she speaks, I inch toward the living room window again. Jake is standing in the middle of the lawn, breathing hard, his hair disheveled, his eyes wild. He turns in circles like he's trying to locate me by instinct alone. He shouts again, louder this time. "I know you're in there." My chest tightens painfully. He looks different. More dangerous. More desperate. Detective Chambers finishes the call and returns to my side. Backup is 5 minutes out. We only need to hold until then. He's not going to wait 5 minutes, I whisper. Her jaw tightens. I know. Another slam, this time against the garage door. He's testing every weak point. Detective, what do I do? You stay behind me, you stay quiet, and you do exactly as I tell you. I nod, but my breathing is uneven, my mind racing. Another shout rattles the windows. Margaret! We're not done. He knows. He knows everything is falling apart. Detective Chambers pulls me gently toward the hallway. We need distance from the entry points. But before we can move far, a sudden crack splits the air, glass breaking. Shards hit the floor near the dining room. He's inside. Detective Chambers grabs my arm and pulls me back fast. Go. We rush down the hallway, moving into the back section of the house where there are fewer windows. My heart is pounding so loud it drowns out everything except the echo of footsteps entering the house. Heavy, determined, too familiar. Detective Chambers positions herself between me and the hall entrance. She raises her hands defensively, posture ready, steady. Don't make a sound, she whispers. I press against the wall, shaking so violently I can barely stay upright. More footsteps. Closer. He moves through the living room like he owns the place. Opening doors, knocking things over, stalking through each room. His voice builds with every unanswered call. Margaret! Come out! Detective Chambers meets my eyes and mouths. Stay still. I nod, tears stinging my vision. Footsteps again. He's heading down the hallway. Toward us. Detective Chambers steps forward quietly, planting her feet, ready to shield me with her own body if necessary. Her voice stays low. If he sees me, I can de-escalate. If he doesn't, stay behind me. Do not run unless I tell you. My lungs are burning. He rounds the corner. Sees her first. He halts, startled, but only for a second. Who the hell are you? Jake Arnold, she says, voice calm but firm. I'm Detective Laura Chambers with the county police. We need you to step back and leave the property immediately. He laughs. A sharp, humorless sound. You're not on duty. That doesn't change the law. He looks past her, searching the shadows, searching for me. His voice rises. Margaret. Mr. Arnold, she says louder. Do not take another step. He ignores her. He steps forward. A rush of adrenaline floods my chest. Fear spikes hot, overwhelming. Detective Chambers raises a hand, palm forward. Stop. Now. He freezes again, but only because he spots me behind her. There you are, he says, voice cracking in a way that chills me to the bone. We need to talk. No, Detective Chambers says, stepping fully in front of me. You're leaving. Right now. I'm not talking to you, he snaps. You are, she counters. And this conversation is over. He takes another step, and she moves with sharp precision, blocking his path. Her voice drops into a tone I've only heard from people who've carried badges long enough to know when words won't work anymore. Jake. Back. Up. For the first time, something in his face shifts. Something ugly. Something wounded. You turned her against me. He spits. Both of you. You don't know her. You don't know our family. You forged my signature, I finally say, stepping out from behind her. He whirls toward me. I was fixing things. You left everything a mess. You were making terrible decisions. You weren't thinking straight. You don't get to decide that. You were going to give everything away, he says, breath panting. I wasn't going to let you destroy your own legacy. This isn't your legacy, I say. It never was. He flinches. Just a flicker. Then something snaps behind his eyes. Detective Chambers steps forward again. Mr. Arnold. Step back now or I will physically remove you. He stares at her. Then at me. Then he laughs again, that same sharp, fractured sound. You think this ends with a cop report? You think you win? We're done, Jake, I say softly. That's when he lunges. Detective Chambers reacts instantly, grabbing his arm, pivoting her weight, forcing him back against the wall. It's controlled, professional, not violent, just enough to restrain his momentum. "Stop," she shouts. "Do not escalate this." He struggles against her hold, furious, unhinged. "Get off me." "Then stop fighting," she snaps. "Backup is on the way. This is your only chance to walk out without cuffs." His chest heaves. He strains against her grip. For a horrifying second, I think he'll break free. Then, sirens. Distant but approaching fast. Jake hears them, and something in him collapses. His shoulders sag, his breathing falters, his eyes dart wildly around the hallway like he's searching for an escape that doesn't exist. "This wasn't supposed to happen," he mutters. "She was supposed to listen. She was supposed to trust me. I was trying to help." "You weren't helping," I say, my voice shaking. "You were controlling, manipulating, and now you're facing the consequences." He looks at me, really looks like he's seeing me for the first time, not as an obstacle, not as a resource, but as a person he can no longer bend. Detective Chambers keeps him pinned gently but firmly. "Mr. Arnold, do not resist. Officers will be here in less than 30 seconds. His head drops forward. Defeat. But not remorse. Never remorse. The front door bursts open. "Sheriff's Department. Identify." "In here." Detective Chambers calls out. 3 uniformed officers rush down the hallway. They take control instantly, pulling Jake's arms behind his back, reading him his rights, moving with well-practiced coordination. Jake doesn't fight. He doesn't speak. He just stares at me while they cuff him. And there is nothing in his expression except hatred. Cold. Focused. Eternal. As they lead him out, he says quietly, too quietly for anyone but me to hear, "This isn't over." A shiver runs down my spine. Detective Chambers turns to me, chest still rising with adrenaline. "Are you all right?" I think so," I whisper. She nods. "Let's get you somewhere safe for the rest of the day. And we'll file an emergency protective order immediately. He won't get near you again." I follow her outside, legs trembling beneath me. The officers are loading Jake into the back of the cruiser. He doesn't look up. Good. 2 neighbors have gathered at the edge of their driveways, whispering. Dorothy stands on her porch, arms crossed, expression fierce with protective anger. When they drive him away, the quiet that follows is immense. Deafening. Like the world is resetting itself after an earthquake. Detective Chambers steps beside me. "You did everything right," she says. "And you're safe now." Just hearing the words makes something inside me unravel. "Thank you," I whisper. She offers a gentler smile. "This isn't the end. There will be paperwork, follow-ups, maybe a hearing. But he lost control today. That's the point where men like him stop being dangerous and start being predictable." I nod slowly. Predictable means manageable. Manageable means survivable. She places a steadying hand on my shoulder. "Margaret, you're stronger than you think." I breathe in deeply. The air is clearer. The house behind me is battered but standing. And for the first time in weeks, so am I. The storm came. The storm broke. And I'm still here. Alive. Unbroken. And ready finally to rebuild whatever comes next. Because this isn't the end of the story. It's just the moment I take my life back. The house feels different after everything. Lighter somehow. As if someone finally turned off a noise I didn't realize had been blaring in the background for months. The silence isn't threatening now. It's peaceful. For the first time in a long time, I let myself breathe without bracing for impact. Detective Chambers filed the emergency protective order within the hour. Jake's actions, the break-in, the confrontation, the escalation, made the paperwork almost immediate. He won't be released without conditions. He won't be able to approach me. Or Lisa. I'm safe. At least for now. The reality of that settles slowly, like snow landing on a windowsill. Quiet, soft, strangely beautiful. I sit on the porch steps, a blanket wrapped around my shoulders despite the warm afternoon. Dorothy appears beside me with 2 mugs of chamomile tea, as if she materialized out of thin air. "I brought the good cups," she says, handing me one. "The ones I don't give to anyone who annoys me." I smile weakly. "So, everyone?" She smirks. "Exactly. We sit in silence for a moment, sipping the tea. You did well today, she says softly. Better than most people would. I don't feel like I did well. You don't have to feel it. You just did it. I stare out across the yard. The police tire tracks still mark the driveway. Evidence of a moment that could have gone so much worse. Dorothy studies me for a long time. He's not your problem anymore. He won't give up, I say. Men like him never think they're the villain. No, she agrees. But the law thinks he is. And that makes your life a whole lot easier. I hum, but the knot in my chest doesn't fully loosen. Not yet. After a while, Dorothy stands. Lisa's inside. She's been asking for you. Of course she has. I'm not ready. But I nod anyway. Inside, I find Lisa sitting on my couch, hands clasped tightly in her lap. She looks small. Exhausted. Almost young again. She stands the moment she sees me. Mom. I brace myself. I heard what happened, she says. Dorothy told me everything. I should have been here. I shouldn't have left you alone. You didn't leave me, I say gently. You protected yourself. I wouldn't want it any other way. She swallows hard, guilt flickering across her face. I'm so sorry. For all of it. For letting him. Stop, I say. You already apologized. But it doesn't feel like enough. It isn't, I agree honestly. Yet. She nods slowly. I understand. There is a fragile silence between us, filled with years of love and recent wounds. She takes a shaky breath. Mom, I want to fix this. I want to fix us. I want to earn back your trust. I don't expect it to happen overnight. I know it'll take time. It will. But I'll stay with Dorothy, she continues. I'll start therapy again. I'll answer every question you have. I'll show you I'm not choosing him anymore. Emotion rises in my throat unexpectedly, sharp, overwhelming, painful in the best way. You left him, I say. That matters. Her eyes fill. I was scared. I know. And I should have listened to you sooner. I know. She wipes her eyes. Can I hug you? I hesitate. Not because I don't love her, but because love doesn't erase everything. It doesn't heal instantly. It doesn't reset the damage. But it can begin something new. A bridge maybe. A small one. Yes, I whisper. She steps forward gingerly, like she's afraid I might change my mind. When her arms wrap around me, I feel her shoulders shake. She's crying into my sweater the same way she did when she was 7 and lost her favorite stuffed rabbit. Mom, she whispers, voice breaking. I love you so much. I love you too, I murmur. We stay like that for a long time, mother and daughter, both bruised in different ways, both trying. And for the first time I believe we might make it. When she finally pulls back, her face is blotchy and red, but her eyes are clearer. Determined. I'm going to help the police, she says. I'm going to tell them everything. Whatever they need. That will help, I say. But do it for you too. I am. She squeezes my hand and steps away, giving me space. She talks with Dorothy for a moment, then leaves with her. She turns at the door, offering one last small, tentative smile before disappearing down the steps. The house is quiet again. But it's a new kind of quiet. My quiet. I walk through each room, lightly touching furniture, picture frames, the edges of doorways. Everything looks the same, but I'm not the same. The fear that lived in the walls is gone. The weight in my chest has shifted into something else. Strength. Not loud strength. Not cinematic or dramatic. The kind built slowly, privately. The kind that holds. My phone buzzes. A text from Detective Chambers. Protective order approved. I'll call tomorrow to follow up. Rest tonight. I send a simple reply. Thank you. For everything. I place the phone down and stand at the kitchen window. The sun is setting, spilling gold across the yard. The same yard I avoided walking through last week, because I was afraid of what waited in the shadows. Now the shadows belong to me again. Later I make myself dinner. Something simple, pasta with butter and herbs. The first real meal I've eaten since the chaos began. My hands don't shake anymore. I don't jump at every sound. The house settles normally, not ominously. I sit at the table, eat slowly, and let the silence wrap around me like a blanket instead of a threat. When I'm done, I wash the dishes. I wipe down the counters. I open windows to let fresh air in. Normal things. Things that feel ceremonial now, like reclaiming territory. Everything in its place. Including me. Night falls gently. I turn off most of the lights and step onto the porch again with a sweater draped over my shoulders. The sky is clear, stars bright. Dorothy crosses her yard to join me. No words, just presence. We sit on the steps like two sentries guarding a kingdom finally free. After a while, she says, "You realize you won." I exhale softly. It doesn't feel like winning. "That's what winning feels like," she says. "It's never loud. It's just surviving. Choosing yourself." I let that settle. Surviving. Choosing myself. Yes, that feels right. Dorothy pats my hand. "Go to bed. You need sleep." "I will," I say, but we sit a little longer. Maybe I'm not ready to go inside just yet. Maybe I want to feel this moment fully. The calm after the storm. The victory that isn't flashy. The beginning of whatever comes next. Eventually, I stand and say goodnight. In my bedroom, I turn on the lamp and pull back the covers. The sheets smell clean. Safe. Mine. As I settle into bed, I realize something that makes my chest loosen for the first time in weeks. I'm not afraid. Not of the house. Not of the dark. Not of tomorrow. Tomorrow can come. I close my eyes, exhaling slowly. Everything is quiet. Everything is settled. Everything has changed. And for the first time, everything feels like it can begin again.